What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today we are doing a full breakdown of Chapter 4, Season 4 augments. That's right, we are going to break down these augments, show you everything about them, show you how they work, and how to get the most out of them. We're not doing a simple ranking, although we will be ranking these with our own personal opinion. We're going to be taking a much deeper dive than you've probably seen before, so let's get into it. All right, so I am in a bot lobby right now. I've set this up in creative, and basically allows me to have 10 augments per game, and we are just going to start testing these augments. All right, so first up is Fast Fisher. Increase swim speed and instantly loot a fishing hole when you swim through it. Okay, cool. So we got a bunch of fishing holes here. This is great. And we are going to swim for a second to see how fast we go. Okay, so this is normal swim speed. Let's just maybe throw a timer on the screen, see how quickly we can get across this channel here. Now let's put on Fast Fisher. See how fast we go. Okay, so maybe that channel is not long enough to really tell, but I can definitely tell that I'm starting to pick up speed as I go here. Yeah, you get moving. So it takes like a few dives before you really start moving, but I do feel like I am moving a lot quicker now, especially with the current. It helps that there's a current here, but you can actually fight the current with this perk. So yeah, I mean, even like normal swimming like this seems pretty fast. But again, you should probably always be diving when you're doing this. And look at that, there's a fish right there. Okay, so now here's the second part of the perk. You swim through one of these fishing holes and you get a fish. Oh, and items. Interesting. Okay. I'd say this is a really good perk. This is a huge upgrade over Aquatic Warrior where, you know, you get like a little bit of heal and a little bit of speed of swimming. I think this is really cool because sometimes you just can't find heals, right? You might be stuck in the storm, whatever. You need to find some heals quickly. If you have this perk, you can just go over here, or you're going to get weapons. So that's really cool. I think you could also get a decent loadout off of like a fishing hole. So I'm going to go ahead and rank Fast Fisher as a B tier. It's a solid B perk, and I think it's actually pretty useful. Not something I'm going to use all the time, but in the right circumstance, I think it can be really helpful. All right, the next perk we have is Ammo Drop. Instantly gain ammo. Eliminated players drop additional ammo. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and eliminate a player before we activate this. Or should I say civilian, AI, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so how much ammo do we get off this person? None. We're at the beginning of the game, we get none. Okay, so we can just assume whatever we're going to pick up right now is probably going to be extra. So instantly gain ammo. So okay, we got 6 heavy bullets and 20 small. Okay, we kill that person. Now, this is the beginning of the game, so they shouldn't really have any ammo anyways. Okay. Just got 20 minis and 10 medium. 20 small, 10 medium off them. 8 shotgun shells off them. So yeah, that right there already tells me that this perk is not worth running. Sounds like you're gonna get like 8 shotgun shells, 20 small, maybe 8 medium-sized bullets extra off of an enemy, and that is absolutely not worth it to me. I could loot a single ammo crate and probably get 2 kills worth of ammo. So I'm gonna give that an F. Ammo Drop is an F tier perk for me. All right, next up is the Medium Ammo Acquired Augment. Instantly gain medium ammo and gain additional medium ammo when opening containers. Now, I just want to note here that this is medium ammo only. It's not shotgun, it's not small, it's not large, whatever. It's not heavy, it's not rockets, right? It's just medium ammo. And also, I want to note that I had this augment wrong. What it really is saying is that you get ammo from every single container you open, whether that's produce or coolers or even ammo boxes themselves. You will get medium ammo every time. You will get 8 medium ammo for opening any type of box, whether that's a chest. So you can see down the bottom right, I get 8 medium, and then I get the extra normal amount that comes out of a typical chest. So this is pretty much like on the go bag where you're getting extra bonus items out of any container. But I don't think that it works when you break things like that. Yeah, so I did not get the 8 medium ammo if I break the item underneath the chest. So you definitely have to open the chest. And again, you'll get ammo out of cash registers. So you see I just got 8 medium ammo if you look at the bottom right. So overall, I'm going to give this perk an F tier augment because I just don't think it's really going to help you. Very, very, very rarely is it something that you're going to need to use. And if you used it at the beginning of the game, then you've wasted an augment slot and now you've only got 3 good slots. Maybe at the end of the game, you find yourself in a situation where you've got 20 AR ammo and you just need 30 more, right? You could use it then and you get 30 on the spot. But apart from that, it's pretty much worthless. F tier. All right, the next augment we have is Mud Warrior. You regenerate health and partial shields while covered in mud. So I'm real hurt right now. If I get in mud right now and I don't have it, it just gives me the extra slide speed, which they kind of nerfed already, so it's not as good. But Mud Warrior can definitely be a very helpful thing if you find yourself in the jungle, especially end game, you know, when you kind of got to rotate through the jungle, or mid game, you got to rotate through the jungle and there's mud. It can be really helpful because when you activate it, you start getting 2 health points per tick. Now, here's the interesting thing though. Once you are in the storm, it no longer works, right? So that is to know it will not give you health when you're in the storm, so you can't just sit in the storm and tank damage there. But as soon as you're out of the storm, it heals you pretty fast. And I believe it goes to 150 shields, so 50 shields, and then it stops there. Pretty good perk, honestly. Being able to just like slide in the mud and get some heals. You know, sometimes you're like 70 green health or like 20 shields or whatever, and you've got a slurp and you don't want to waste it. It's really nice to just be able to slide through some mud and get health, and also just like take fights and then like heal mid-fight while not actually healing. You're just like covered in mud and you're kind of slowly healing. Pretty cool perk. So I'm gonna go ahead and rate this a B tier perk for a few reasons. Number one, there's just not a lot of mud in the game, right? Most of the mud is just in the jungle here. And number two, you have to be hurt for it to really do anything for you. And number three, it does not work in the storm and it only heals you up to 150. So those are the downsides of it. But if you have an end game that's happening in the jungle or a mid game where you got to rotate through the jungle and you're going to get covered in mud, it's a pretty great perk. You know, at that point, if you're in the jungle end game or mid game and you're in trouble and you need it, it becomes an A tier or S tier perk. So yeah, but we're going to average it out to a B ranking. All right, the next augment is Keymaster. Grants 2 keys for opening hollow chests. I gotta say, this is probably an S tier perk. When you need good weaponry, oftentimes hollow chests are the place to get it. And what's really great about it is that you can basically, usually their map shows you where the hollow chests are. I'm not sure why it's not showing me it. These hollow chests usually have great weapons, right? You can get purple and gold, and you can get heals as well if you really need them. So I'm gonna give this an S tier because generally if I see it, I'm going to use it. And that just means that it's very useful. Just to have high rarity weapons whenever you want is pretty fantastic. So I'm gonna give it an S tier. All right, the next augment is On the Go Bag. Instantly gain mobility consumables and gain additional mobility consumables when opening containers. Now this perk is absolutely insane. It's definitely my favorite perk of this season. Probably my favorite augment of all time in Fortnite. This is crazy because first of all, when you activate it, it gives you a couple mobility items, and mobility items can be mini jump pads, shockwave grenades, or slap splashes, which also provide heals. So that's really important because if you're stuck in the storm and you need heals, you can get heals just from opening containers of any sort. And then you also just have a very good chance of getting good mobility by opening any container. So watch this. This is an ammo box. You open this and you get slap splashes. Another ammo box up here, we open this and we get shockwaves. Every single container, doesn't matter what type, whether it's a chest, whether it's a cash register, whether it's produce, any single box that you open, you are going to get mobility out of. And that is why this is such a crazy perk, because there's ammo boxes and ice chests and produce boxes and normal chests themselves pretty much everywhere in this game. A quick note about this augment, you do not want to be breaking the object underneath the chest or the produce box or whatever it is, because you will not get the mobility items if you do that. You have to manually open it. So yeah, remember to not break the object underneath the chest or the box, otherwise you won't get the items. That is going to guarantee you 6 shockwaves every time. So this is the perk to have, at least in my opinion. Every single time I play a game, I am rolling for this perk. It's actually surprising how common this perk is. I really love it. It's going to save your life left and right because you're always going to have shockwaves or you're always going to have heals, right? If you're stuck behind some cover and you have very little health, you can loot a couple ammo crates next to you and you have a good chance of getting some splashes or some shocks to just get out of there, right? This perk is going to allow you to rotate in the end games or early games, get out of storm, get out of danger. It's an incredible perk to have, and I highly recommend it. In zero builds and probably builds, On The Go Bag is an absolute S tier perk, and I'm going for it every game. All right, for our next augment, we have Sprint Lines. Gain slap effect when using vines, rails, zip lines, and ascenders. Now, I think this is a pretty good perk because I think it actually has an extended length over typical slap juice. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the sprint lines right here. Just to give you an idea, this is how fast your stamina depletes. You hit a zip line, nothing happens, but we're gonna go ahead and put on sprint lines. And this was gonna work for vines, rails, zip lines, and ascenders. And ascenders are just these vertical zips, right? Okay. So now I have infinite sprint. I can just run around, sprint as much as I want. And let's put a timer on the screen, see how long this lasts. So this is a great perk because you can be really evasive when you've got stamina, right? Like if you don't have stamina in zero builds, you're in big trouble if you're in a fight. If you run out of stamina and you know, you're already at a disadvantage, if you have more stamina, you can easily outrun your enemy. And that is very helpful because you can just keep going and they can't. And so it can save your life. It can be really, really helpful. Also, it can allow you to put more jukes on, right? When you run out of sprint, you can't slide as easily. You know, you can't like go into a quick slide as you shoot as easily as you can when you're sprinting. And sprint jumping is also really helpful. If you don't have sprint, you can't do a sprint jump, which makes you just kind of like an easy target to hit. Okay, now let's compare that to, you know, a slap juice here. Let's just drink a slap juice and see how long it lasts as well. Okay, so we start the timer now. And is it the same length as a slap juice? I think it is the same length, which is an upgrade over our old, I think more parkour it was called. I think more parkour only lasted for like maybe 10 or 15 seconds. And I feel like this new ascender one, and I think that the new Sprint Lines perk actually lasts as long as an actual slap juice or slap drink. Okay, one more time, taking a zip. And the timer's on. So it appears that Sprint Lines gives you about the same stamina as a normal slap splash or a slap juice. And I think it's really good. Actually, you know, in most situations, there are so many zip lines in the jungle, so many vines in the jungle, so many zip lines around Mega. A lot of the new POIs have zip lines and ascenders and vines, and I'd say it's actually underrated. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and give this perk an A, surprisingly, because I don't really use it that much, but I think that it can actually be super helpful. Like having that kind of stamina all the time without having to carry slap juices is really powerful, and there are a lot of zip lines around the world, and if you get stuck in the storm, you can just hit a zip line and you have infinite stamina, and that can save your life. So I'm going to go ahead and give Sprint Lines an A rating. Just a moment of your time, if you would not mind, could you please consider smashing that like button, body slamming the subscribe button, and gently tapping the notification bell to get alerted every time I drop a video. Thank you very much. All right, the next augment is Supercharged. Vehicles you're inside have increased health and only consume fuel while boosting. All right, so we got 800 HP on this puppy right here. You can see it right above my health bar. It consumes fuel just like any other car. You know, the whole fuel thing isn't really a big deal for me. Like, generally your car is gonna blow up or, you know, lose a tire before you lose fuel. So I don't think that's really an issue unless you're just like driving around the outside of the map, avoiding enemies. Probably not gonna have that issue. But the 800 HP is, you know, not a lot of HP for a car. So let's see what we get when we put on Supercharged. So we get about 250 extra HP, I think. It's basically 250 HP. So I would say in squads or trios, this perk might be worth taking. One of the members on your team could use it while you're all in the car. I don't think it stacks though, so just one member would need to have it. And you know, the whole team kind of benefits from it by not blowing up in your car. But apart from that, I would say it's just not worth it. It's again, one of those perks that's just wasting one of your 4 slots. There are some really good augments this season, and I would have to rate this one a D tier. All right, our next perk, which I've already applied, is Sniper Striker. Snipers give Siphon on hit against players. This one, basically, you get health from any hit. It doesn't have to be a kill. And we were at 16 health. Now we're at 29. We're at 54 health now. the headshot, we get up to 84. All right, so Sniper Striker is an F tier perk for sure. It's only giving you 13 health on body shots and about 30 health on headshots. And really, that's just not worth it, especially if you're playing from far range. You probably have heals and you probably have a second to heal if you get hurt. Trying to hit headshots, trying to hit body shots for only 30 HP, 13 HP, definitely not worth it. That is an F tier perk, no use in wasting an augment slot with it. All right, our next augment is Sniper Surplus. Right off the bat, this is a great perk if you use snipers. See how long it takes to reload a sniper rifle, which can get you killed if you need to hit a shot quickly. You miss your first shot, you've got to reload, and by then the enemy is pushing on you. So I really like this perk because you can get 2 shots in your sniper mag, and that is super helpful for your sniper. Also allows you to get double kills. This allows you to double body shot people, hit them twice and kill them. And that's really helpful if you're missing headshots, or if you just miss a shot at all, at least you get a second chance, and that can really be the difference in a fight. So overall, I'm gonna have to give this an A tier perk. It's not always applicable because you don't always carry a sniper, and sometimes in the end game, it's not best to carry a sniper. You probably want a 2-gun loadout with mobility and defense. But if you are a sniper and you love carrying a sniper, this is a great perk for you. I'm giving it a solid A. All right, the next augment we have is First Shotgun. Shotguns deal increased damage on the first shot, does not increase maximum headshot damage. So you cannot exceed the total damage that a shotgun can do, but you can definitely get a harder hit on your first shot. So you have to have your magazine fully reloaded. Right now, this is not with the perk, so I'm gonna land a good body shot here. 84 without the perk. Now we go over here and we select the perk, and we come back. 105. So those perk is pretty nice. It's not absolutely necessary. It's a very nice thing to have, and it can win you some fights, Hitting that first shot with extra damage that would have been a mediocre shot can actually win you the fight when you get a 140 instead of, like, say, a 110. I'm going to give it a B because it only works with the first shot. And, if you're playing good cover and you're hitting your shots and you're hitting max damage, it's not really going to help you, but in some instances, it can really help out. Our next augment is First Assault. The first bullet in the magazine of your assault rifle deals bonus damage. First Assault is on. 40 to the body. Without it, we're doing 31. So now we're going to reload, and now we're on our second magazine. Let's see if the second magazine works as well. 40 to the body, yep. So the twin mag, there is a benefit that you have 2 magazines and a quick reload, right? So you can get that initial shot twice, which has a little extra damage, which is pretty nice. Let's see about headshot. Headshot is 66 and 52 with regular. Honestly, I would probably rate First Assault as a B tier, maybe A tier, but I'm gonna probably say B tier. It's not always active. It's only active on your first bullet, and it can give you a nice little extra bonus damage on your first shot, but you have to reload just to get that extra damage and shoot again. And it's not that big of a difference. It kind of puts this pressure on to hit the first shot too. It's a pretty good perk. I definitely like running it. I'll usually take it, but if there's a better alternative, I'll usually take that. But yeah, I'll give it a B, I think. All right, next up we have the Steady Hands perk. Marksman rifles have reduced recoil. Now keep in mind, I believe this is only for marksman rifles, DMRs, designated marksman rifles. So the DMR is really gonna be the only thing that benefits from this. Maybe the sniper as well, but I don't think it's really gonna matter since it's a one-shot gun, unless you're running the 2-bullet perk. But let's just give it a test because I want to put that myth to rest, just find out if it's true or not. We are going to test the twin mag AR and the DMR. Okay, so here's what the DMR looks like without this, and I will warn you, it is atrocious. This is why I don't use this gun. It just kind of bounces everywhere. And as you can see, I started shooting at the very bottom of the staircase, right? So there is a lot of vertical recoil, and then also a good amount of side sway, right? And this is with a blue DMR. Here's a quick comparison between a purple and green thermal DMR, just to give you an idea of how much rarity matters with this gun. So you can see the purple is still kicking left and right without steady hands, and the green is pretty much doing the same thing. The thing about this gun is that there's such random recoil. It kicks left, right, and up, and you really can't predict what it's gonna do, and that's why I really don't like the thermal DMR. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit the steady hands perk, and here we go. So yeah, you can tell that the vertical recoil on this is much better, and the left and right is a lot better too. So if you are going to use a DMR, I highly recommend this perk. All right, here's the green twin mag assault rifle without steady hands, just to give you an example. Okay, now here is a green twin mag assault rifle, just to give you an idea. And I would say no, it doesn't affect it. It still climbs kind of crazy, and I don't think it really helps. And the twin mag assault rifle never really had a lot of left-right recoil as well, but it certainly doesn't like keep the thing from kicking. It's still kicking pretty hard and pretty high. So as you can see, there's no difference between steady hands or not having steady hands when you're using a twin mag AR. It only works for the DMR. So yeah, overall, I would rate this perk for DMRs really well, but the problem is I don't like the DMR. I don't think most people do. It is not a hit scan weapon, so therefore you have to lead your shots. It's projectile. I just don't have a lot of use for it, so I'm gonna give this perk a C. And if you use DMRs, then it's probably more like a B or even an A, because if you're gonna use a DMR, this perk is almost necessary if you want to hit more shots and be more accurate. So there's an asterisk on this one. It's an A perk or an S perk if you love the DMR. It is a C or D perk if you do not. For me, it's an F perk, but for some of you guys, it might not be, and that's why I'm going to give this perk a C, somewhere in the middle. All right, next augment we have is Light Fingers. Weapons using light ammo reload faster. All right, so before we activate the perk, let's see about these SMGs I'm carrying that all use light ammo. All right, so we have a green scoped burst, combat, and then a gold combat. So you can already tell that the higher rarity of the gun, a lot faster the reload. Now let's see what happens when we apply Light Fingers. That's significantly faster. Green, gold. All right, so we have a green scoped burst, combat, and then a gold combat. That's really fast. That is a great perk to have when you're carrying a weapon that uses small bullets, for sure. I love this perk because it's always active. You know, you can shoot a couple bullets and then reload it. You have a much faster reload at all times. It's really gonna always benefit you pretty much in every fight that you have to reload an SMG or a pistol. Now, I really like the combat SMG. I use it a lot. And at gold rarities, you know, if you can just reload that quick, man, that is an A tier perk for me personally. So yeah, I'm giving Light Fingers an A rank. All right, our next augment is SMG Sign Off. The last 4 bullets of your SMG magazine deals bonus damage. Let's go ahead and test a combat SMG really quick. We get 19 to the body for the combat. And with this scoped, we're getting 45 total with 2 bullets hitting. And that is without the perk. So 19 and 45. Now let's go ahead and hit this perk. So we were hitting 19 with the SMG before to the body, and now we're getting 23. So that's a pretty big jump, but it's only the last 4 bullets, right? So most of the time I'm not getting to the end of my magazine. Now with the scoped, it was 45. Let's see what it is now. 56. All right, so from my limited testing with SMG sign-off, I'm only seeing a 4-point damage difference with a combat SMG and about a 10-point difference for 4 bullets with a scoped SMG. Now, when you put that into the grand scheme of things, you're gonna get an extra 20 damage out of your scoped SMG magazine clip, and you're gonna get an extra 16 damage out of a combat SMG magazine. So really, I just don't think this perk is worth it at all. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this a D. Now, this might be a better perk for some people if they're missing their shots and they get to the end of their magazine all the time. But me personally, I rarely ever get to the end of my SMG because I'm swapping after a shotgun pump and just finishing off quickly, and I rarely ever hit the end of the magazine. So in very rare cases, this might be the differentiating factor between losing and winning a fight, but it's going to be very, very, very rare, and you really can't count on this perk winning you a fight too often. It's better to just hit those initial shots and not have to get to the end of your magazine. You know what? I've actually changed my decision. This is an F tier perk. SMG sign-off is an F tier perk because we want to be hitting our initial shots. We don't want to be having to get to the end of our magazine to hopefully kill someone. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this an F. I think there are so many better augments to choose over this. Moving on. All right, our next augment is Pistol Salvo. Pistols have reduced fire rate but increased damage. All right, so go ahead and see. We're getting 25 to the body. I think pistols are double. Yeah, 50 to the head. Okay, 25 to the body, 50 to the head. And now we go ahead and hit this. And let's see how fast the fire rate is. Fire rate really doesn't feel all that much different. And now we're getting 28 to the body, 57 to the head. So that's pretty good. But is it worth running as one of your 4 augments? That's a question that only you can answer. If you're using like the shadow tracker, which can be bought over in Steamy Springs from the Banana Man, maybe it's worth it. You know, that extra damage per shot does add up. It could require 1 or 2 less bullets to kill someone. And the double headshot damage modifier with pistols already is pretty deadly. And then you stack on maybe 10 points of damage extra and it starts to add up. It's pretty good. But overall, I don't really run pistols very often and it's kind of niche, right? Like the pistol is great, but personally, I wouldn't really run this because I would never really put a pistol in my loadout intentionally over a gold combat or something like that, because pistols kind of have this medium range, like they're really good at medium range, and you kind of have to be still for them to land shots consistently. Otherwise, you have this big bloom, and it's just really not that good. And they're really not great at close range either, so they kind of have this weird role where you have to be stealthy and standing still and then like hitting headshots as you're crouched, so I just don't run them. So personally, I would give this a C tier rating. Yeah, it's nice to have, but I wouldn't waste one of my 4 slots using it. Next up, we have the Scoped Salvo perk. Now, I have a bunch of scoped weapons here, and first of all, let's just kind of test their fire rate. Thermal DMR. Twin Mag AR. Scoped Burst. Now we'll do a side-by-side comparison on each one of those before and after Scoped Salvo just to see how they go. All right, so now let's do some pre and post numbers with Scoped Salvo. So the DMR, I hit 33 to the body. With a Twin Mag, I hit 34. With an SMG, I am hitting 52 to the body. Okay, now let's put Scope Salvo on and check it out. Okay, so first of all, we can tell we are hitting 59 to the body, before and after, side by side, fire rate. Now with Scope Salvo on, body shot damage, slower fire rate, 39 with a Twin Mag, 37 with a DMR. So it's a nice little bump in damage with every type of weapon, and the Scoped is actually doing 59 as well. And it's really hard to tell the slower fire rate on a lot of these weapons. To be honest, you should be shooting a lot of these weapons a little bit slower anyways. Maybe not the SMG, but I can't really tell a difference between the SMG before and after. Maybe you can tell in the side-by-side. So Scope Salvo, I am giving an S tier for a few reasons. Number one, it's going to slow down your fire rate, which might sound bad, but actually that's going to give you better recoil control, right? Super easy to control recoil when your gun's shooting slower. Number two, it's just going to give you extra free damage with any scoped weapon. And the Twin Mag AR right now is the best weapon in the game. It's got a scope. You can do really good damage from afar. And with Scope Salvo on, it just gets even better. So you just get extra free damage there. And number three, it's going to conserve your magazine. So you're going to get more out of your magazine because you're shooting less bullets and you're taking a little more time to hit each shot. So overall, you're going to kill people more effectively without having to reload. So yes, Scope Salvo is an S tier perk. It's going to benefit you in every long range fight when you're using a scoped weapon. So definitely pick it up every time you see it. All right, the next perk is Rarity Check. And this is actually a pretty rare one itself. You gain Siphon on eliminations with common or uncommon weapons. So this is going to heal you basically a little bit when you full kill an enemy, not when you down one. So I've got a green weapon right now. I have 70 HP, 70 shields left, and I'm gonna go ahead and thirst and I'll get health. Okay, well, that didn't work at all. So, not sure what happened there. Oh, I didn't select it. Okay, we got Rarity Check on. Now we got Rarity Check on. Let's go ahead and get ourselves in some action. Here we go. Okay, I'm using a green Maven. I just want to see if it heals for over 50. That'd be kind of crazy if that's the case, but I didn't see what my health was. I mean, we could replay the tape and see. Let me just go find another fight really quick. So I've got a green AR, I've got 64 HP. And now we're gonna full thirst and we should get heals. We have 64 shields up to 100. So I'm thinking that you get 40 HP off of a kill with a green weapon. Now I gotta say, that's not too bad. 40 HP is significant. And if you're playing long range or, you know, even if you like are in solos, right? And you get in a fight, a nasty fight, and you have a third party coming in and you don't have enough time to heal, pretty cool to be able to get the kill and then get 40 HP off of it. And if you can get a double kill from afar, you're gonna get HP as well. But the biggest downside is that you have to rock a green weapon. That's the highest rarity you can rock is a uncommon weapon. And then you can also rock a common weapon, the gray, and it will also heal you as well. Okay, so we're at 45 HP. And we go up to 95. So it's 50. It heals for 50. I gotta say that's pretty good. But is it worth running an uncommon weapon for? I'm starting to think maybe as your AR, it could be worth it. Does it work in the storm? Yes, it does. And I think it also works on animals. So if you kill an animal, you will also heal if you have a common or uncommon weapon as well. So the more I'm playing with it, I think that it's probably worth running a green AR, and then you can full thirst with that green AR. If you've got rarity check, go ahead, pick up a green twin mag, and then you can do all like your thirsting. You can knock them down with whatever weapon you need to. But then when you go to thirst, go ahead and thirst them with your green AR. I choose the AR because, oh, there was a chicken, wasn't there? There we go. Yeah, so animals work as well. I'm gonna go ahead and give rarity check an A rank because honestly, it can be a game changer. It can really help you if you're in a tight spot. And if you're okay with running a green AR or a green shotgun or whatever, which honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not a huge problem. I've gone into endgame with green weapons and won the game just fine. 50 HP is a lot of HP. That's a lot of heals just for an elimination or a thirst. And I also like the option that you can knock someone down their knees and then thirst them with a green weapon so you can really think about getting that health back. So yeah, I'm gonna rate this an A ranking, maybe even S tier, but what's holding me back is the fact that it has to be a green or white weapon. But for now, I think I'm gonna give it A tier, but it's kind of hovering near S tier. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. 50 HP is a lot of HP, and it works on animals. It's kind of wild, because there's a lot of animals in the jungle. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's S tier. It's S tier. This is an S tier perk because of the amount of animals around, right? Like you could be in a fight and you could kill a raptor off to the right and you just get 50 HP, right? That just sealed the deal for me. It's S tier. All right, there it is. It's also a rare perk, so it's hard to find, but when you get it, I would go for it. Yeah, I would take it for sure. And then in the future, it sounds like we're going to get a business turret perk that is going to grant you a business turret as well as a couple EMPs. And now my understanding of the EMPs is that it rips off shields and also deactivates electronics like the business turret. So that's pretty interesting. I know that the business turret can be very, very good for putting pressure on enemies. I've had it done to me where it just doesn't miss, right? So like if someone's shockwaving away or just jumping around and being a hard target to hit, you can basically throw down a business turret and it's going to negate all of their movement, right? So basically you just throw one of these things down and then now the business turret is really putting on good damage to them and they have to do something. They have to move or they have to fight the business turret, and that takes a lot of the pressure off you so you can focus on them. So at the beginning of the season, you know, I kind of rated like, oh, business turret is really kind of a joke, but now I'm starting to respect it a lot more. It is indeed a problem when you are fighting someone who's got a business turret down and you're out in the open, right? If you can't find good cover, they actually have quite a bit of health. It's hard to kill them, and they put on good damage. Look at this. I didn't even have to do anything. So if you've got bad aim too, this business turret is very helpful for players that don't have the best aim. So I'm thinking that that perk is probably going to be A tier or S tier, because when you really need a business turret, you know, you got a couple people pushing you and you want to set up a trap, it can be very helpful. So I'm probably going to give that an S tier, to be honest, because it's one of those things that you can just pull out of your pocket and throw it down. I don't really want to carry a business turret, but if I had the option of just rolling for one and then throwing it down when I needed it, that's pretty great. Okay, now there are 4 potential augments that I think are going to be released again. We have roaming redeploy, which we've had in the past, which allows you to redeploy whenever you have immunity to fall damage. So that would be like off of a zip line or off of a hot flower or off of a shockwave or anything like that. Something where you're not going to actually get hurt when you fall. You can redeploy your glider when you're in that state. That is an S tier perk for sure. It's really good for rotations, right? You can hit like a grind rail or a zip line and just glide through the rest of the jungle or what have you. So yeah, that's going to be an S tier perk for sure. High voltage, instantly gain a business turret and shield breaker EMPs. Eliminations grant additional shield breaker EMPs. Okay, so that sounds like it's probably an A tier or an S tier perk. And then we have another augment called explosive surplus. Instantly gain rocket ammo and gain additional rocket ammo when opening containers. I'm not sure what kind of explosive weapons we're getting. Right now we have the mythic grenade launcher that shoots shockwaves, the mythic shockwave launcher, which that'd be helpful, but that's probably a D tier perk, to be honest, if that's all we get. But if we're getting like some kind of crazy rocket launcher, I could put that as a solid B tier if the rocket launcher or whatever we're getting is good enough that it justifies getting ammo for it, and it's hard to find rockets. All right, and then the last augment here is Storm Chaser. Reduce the amount of stamina drained while tactical sprinting. Reduced further while in the storm. That sounds like an absolute S tier perk, particularly the part where it says reduce the amount of stamina drained while tactical sprinting. If this reduces your stamina by like 30% or 50% use, that would be insane. That gives you a huge amount of playmaking ability in fights. You know, you often get in fights in zero build where you can't do anything when you run out of stamina. You just get kind of stuck out in the open. You can't move. You're trying to slide and jump as much as you can, but it's not fast enough, right? And this right here could be a huge advantage in a fight where you have an enemy on your back and they don't have Storm Chaser, but you do. So you just get to run away, get around that corner and just keep on running and they can't catch up to you. Or you just keep on putting on the moves with the slide and the sprint and the clamber, the slide, sprint. I'm thinking that this is going to be an S tier perk for sure. And hopefully I'm right. All right, that was my full chapter 4, season 4 augment breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like this video, if you could see how much work I put into this, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you'd like these breakdowns, check out my must-watch playlist or just check out my YouTube channel. I take deep dives on gameplay mechanics and how to improve your game, specifically at Fortnite Zero build. So yeah, check out my other videos, and I'm sure that once you watch them, you're gonna want to subscribe. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a good day. Shinobi out.